My name is Tina. Standing in my living room, I'm face to face with my dad and mom. My dad's jaw is set, and my mom's eyes are narrowed. They've just shown up unannounced, 3 days after I raised their rent and listed the strip mall my brother used for his business. My dad wastes no time. "You're being selfish," he says, his voice sharp, as if I'm a misbehaving child. "Raising our rent, selling your brother's business space. This isn't you." My mom chimes in, her tone softer but equally cutting. "We're your family. You're tearing us apart over a tantrum." I stand there, arms crossed, letting their words hang in the air. They think they can guilt trip me into backing down, but they have no idea that I'm done playing their game. I lean against the counter, my voice steady. "You chose a vacation in Hawaii over my 35th birthday. You posted it for the world to see. Don't talk to me about family." My dad's face flushes. "That was a family trip. You could have come if you weren't so stubborn." I almost laugh. They hadn't invited me, not even a hint. My mom tries another angle, her voice trembling, on the verge of tears. "We didn't mean to hurt you. We just needed time together. You've been so distant." "Distant?" I repeat, shaking my head. "I've been covering your rent, bailing out my brother, and swallowing your jabs about my boyfriend, Leo, for years." Before they can say more, my phone buzzes with an email from my bank. I glance at it, and my stomach tightens. It's an alert about a credit inquiry. Someone has tried to open a loan in my name. I open the details, and there it is, my brother's name tied to an application for a $70,000 business loan using my credit and my properties as collateral. I look up at my dad and mom, my anger boiling over. "Did you know about this?" I ask, holding up my phone. They exchange a glance, and my mom's face pales. "He's desperate," she says. "He didn't mean any harm." I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. "No harm? He tried to steal from me." I pull up the bank's number and call them right then and there, reporting the fraud. The loan is denied, my credit is locked, and my brother's scheme is dead in the water. My dad tries to interrupt. "You're overreacting. He's your brother. He needs help." I cut him off. "He needs to grow up. And so do you." I tell them to leave, my voice firm. "There's no deal to make here. The rent's going up. The strip mall is sold. You figure it out." My mom starts to cry real tears, but I don't budge. "You should have thought about family before you ditched me. Get out." They leave, my dad muttering about how I'll come around, and my mom sniffling as if I'm the villain. I shut the door, my hands shaking, but my resolve is solid. Let me rewind a bit. I'm a real estate investor in New Orleans. I've been in the business for over a decade. I own 7 apartment buildings, and my family lives in 4 of them, paying well below the market rent. I started with a small inheritance from my grandmother and turned it into a thriving portfolio. My dad has always boasted about our family empire, as if he had a hand in building it, but it was all my hard work. My family has always leaned on me. I've covered their late payments, skipped fees, and even paid for my brother's failed startup. But they've never been grateful. Instead, they've constantly thrown shade at my choices, especially my relationship with Leo. Leo is a carpenter. He owns a small woodworking shop in town. He's got this quiet strength, always fixing things, whether it's a broken chair or my bad days. But my family can't stand him. They call him a wood pusher behind his back and say he's not good enough for me. My mom once told me to find someone with a real job. My brother is even worse. He's always insinuating that Leo is after my money. I'd been planning my 35th birthday for weeks. I chose a local Creole restaurant, a family-owned place with warm, inviting vibes. I reserved a private room and ordered platters of gumbo, jambalaya, and beignet. I sent out invitations a month ago and double-checked RSVPs. Everyone said they'd be there. I hoped this could be a fresh start, a chance to bring us all together and smooth over the long, simmering tension. The morning of my birthday, I was buzzing with excitement. I spent hours picking out a red dress, simple yet elegant. Leo helped me set up the restaurant, hauling in decorations and joking about my over-the-top balloon arrangements. I got to the restaurant early to check the setup. The tables were perfect, with candles flickering and soft jazz music playing in the background. Leo looked sharp in a button-down shirt, even though he hates dressing up. He squeezed my hand and told me it was going to be great. I wanted to believe him. Then my phone buzzed. I thought it was my dad saying they were running late. But when I opened the message, my heart stopped. "Don't expect anyone to show," he wrote. No explanation, no apology. I read it again, thinking it was a mistake. But this was a gut punch. I opened my social media app, hoping for some explanation, maybe a last-minute emergency. Instead, I found a group photo of my dad, mom, brother, and aunt lounging by a pool in Hawaii. They were all smiling, drinks in hand, and the caption read, "Finally, together." I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. They didn't just skip my birthday, they flaunted it. I felt like I'd been erased from the family. I'd spent years bending over backward for them, and this was how they repaid me. I locked my phone, took a deep breath, and looked at Leo. "Let's eat," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. We sat down at the table meant for 10, just the two of us, surrounded by untouched platters of food. The waiter, sensing the mood, kept his distance. Leo cracked a joke about the balloons, trying to lighten the mood, but my mind was racing. As we ate, I started to piece things together. My family has always been obsessed with appearances. They wanted me to date someone with a high-profile job, someone who could enhance their social status. Leo didn't fit their mold, so they tried to drive us apart. I decided right then and there that I was done being their doormat. I was going to hit them where it hurt their wallets. I could raise their rent to market rates and sell off the strip mall my brother used for his business. The next day, I got to work. I drafted new lease agreements, raising the rent to $2,500 a month per unit, with no exceptions. I sent the emails through my property management software, knowing they'd hit their inboxes by evening. Then I called my real estate agent and told her to list the strip mall. I wanted a buyer fast. By evening, my phone started buzzing. My mom's text came first. "What's this about the rent going up? Call me now." I ignored it. My brother fired off a string of messages, saying I couldn't do this, that it was his business. I didn't reply. My aunt sent a long text whining about how I was ripping the family apart. My dad's message was short and icy, "This is low even for you." The next few days, the texts kept coming, a mix of anger and pleading. But I didn't respond. I was determined to take back control. Then, just as I was dealing with all this, my friend Tom, a real estate broker I've known since college, sent me a text. "Need to talk. It's about your brother. Can I come over?" His urgency made my stomach twist. An hour later, he was at my door, his face grim. Leo was in the garage, working on a project. I led Tom to the kitchen table. "What's going on?" I asked, bracing myself. He didn't sugarcoat it. "Your brother's been shopping your properties to investors, claiming he has power of attorney over your portfolio. He's trying to sell your apartments to cover his debts." I stared at him, my pulse spiking. My brother had already tried to take out a loan in my name, and now this? He has nothing. "Everything's in my name," I said, my voice sharp. Tom nodded and pulled out his phone. "I heard it from a client, an investor who got a pitch from him. He's saying you're unstable and he's stepping in to manage the family assets." I felt a cold fury settle in. My brother wasn't just desperate, he was scheming to steal what I'd built. Years of hard work, late-night deals, and tenant disputes, and he thought he could just take it all. As I was processing this, I got an email from my attorney, Sarah. The subject line read, "Urgent, your grandmother's estate." My heart skipped a beat. My grandmother had passed 6 years ago, leaving me a small inheritance that I'd used to start my real estate business. I opened the email and my breath caught. Sarah had uncovered a trust fund my grandmother had set up, one I'd never known about. It was worth $600,000, and it could only be activated if I stopped financially supporting my family. I called Sarah immediately. "Is this for real?" I asked. Her voice was calm and professional. "It's ironclad. The trust is yours, but you have to maintain the cutoff. No rent discounts, no loans, no support." Your grandmother was clear. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. "I'm done with them. Let's move forward." I told Leo everything that night. My brother's trying to sell my properties, and my grandmother left me $600,000, but only if I keep them cut off, I said, my voice shaking with anger. Leo's eyes widened, but he stayed calm. "Your grandmother knew you'd need this. And Tom's got your back. You're not alone in this." I spent the next day digging into my brother's scheme. I called my property manager and confirmed that every lease and title was locked in my name. I told her to flag any inquiries about my properties and report them to me directly. Then I emailed Sarah, asking her to monitor my brother's moves for any legal missteps. A month later, I heard about my family's new reality. My dad and mom, brother, and aunt had moved out of my apartments, unable to afford the market rate rent. They'd ended up in a rundown apartment complex on the outskirts of the city. My brother's business was gone, and the strip mall I'd sold was now a trendy coffee shop. My dad was working part-time at a hardware store, and my mom was cleaning houses. My aunt was complaining on social media about her noisy neighbors. I didn't feel joy, just a quiet satisfaction. They'd built their lives on my support, judged my choices, and excluded me. Now they were facing the consequences. With the $600,000 from my grandmother's trust, Leo and I decided to start our own real estate company, focused on affordable housing in New Orleans. We spent weeks hammering out the details, incorporating the company, scouting office space, and building a client list. By spring, we'd opened our firm, Crescent City Properties. Leo took charge of operations, his practical know-how balancing my vision. We hired a small team and used the trust fund to buy 2 new apartment buildings. We renovated them to provide families with a decent place to live without breaking the bank. Looking back, I've learned that self-respect isn't negotiable. I'd spent years trying to earn my family's love by giving more, but it didn't work. Family is about respect, and they'd chosen to cross me. But I chose to stand up for myself, and I'm building a life that I've always wanted, with Leo by my side. To everyone who's followed this story, thank you. Your support means the world to me. If you've felt something from this, please hit that subscribe button. Join me for more stories about standing up, fighting back, and finding your own path. You're not just viewers, you're part of this journey. Thank you for being here.